Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV today. It's an extremely wild Wednesday here at Sledgehammer TV. Just a few hours ago, we were across the pond in the UK enjoying us some NXT UK as they debuted their show on the WWE Network, and we got a live review and reaction up for you guys. If you missed it, go check it out after we embark now back stateside to Full Sail University for episode number 7 of the Mae Young Classic, kicking off the quarterfinals in a big way, and I will be your guide as we get set to do it right now, live, right here on Sledgehammer TV. I am Nick Nightmare, and this is your Mae Young Classic episode 7 live reaction show. Let's do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
All right, wrestling fans, thank you so much for joining me. As always, today's review is brought to you by Audible. Audible is giving you the opportunity to check out their service and offering one free audiobook download with a 30-day free trial just for checking us out here on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show this evening. Over 180,000 titles to choose from. Take advantage of it right away and go to audibletrial.com/sledgehammertv to find the book that speaks to you and start listening right now. Again, that's audibletrial.com/sledgehammertv for your free audiobook download and 30-day free trial. Let's get going with this week's episode of the Mae Young Classic. I've been looking forward to the quarterfinals. I've been looking forward to the finals of this thing. I don't even know who's in it yet, but we know what we're in store for the quarterfinals. 8 tremendous women going at it tonight. It's going to be fantastic. Let's kick this thing off and get this shit started. We are going to hit the feed. And I'm interested to see who the first matchup of the night is going to be. I'm wondering what the main event is going to be. I'm going to go out on a limb and say we kick this thing off with Meiko, because Meiko has been the absolute best thing in this tournament coming to me so far. I have also been enjoying me some Io Shirai as well, but I think overall I've been so overly impressed with Meiko Satomura coming out of the Far East competitors. We're setting up the match card right now on the show. As I said, Meiko Satomura will be going one-on-one against Lacey Lane to kick this matchup off this evening. Let's see what we got here. We're going to do a promo package now. They're showing last week's match that Lacey Lane had with Taynara Conchi, which was not a very good match. I was not very impressed. I have been a little bit hard on Lacey Lane over the last couple of weeks. I believe that she's a lot better than she's portraying herself to be in this Mae Young Classic. I don't know much about her. She's only been wrestling for about 2 years. So yes, people, she is still pretty much a rookie. I don't care how much she's done in the last 2 years. It's only 2 years. And if you were going to take 2 years of experience and put it up against 2 decades of legendary status that is Meiko Satomura, it's going to be a very tough mountain to climb for Lacey Lane. Maybe she shuts me up tonight. Maybe she continues to show me that she's a little bit less than ready for this evening's festivities, as she's going to take on the final boss. And this just might be the end game for Lacey Lane. Meiko Satomura, as I'm looking right now, had a fantastic match, which they are highlighting, with Mercedes Martinez. The best match I have seen Mercedes Martinez have, bar none, including last year. This can be attributed solely to Meiko Satomura bringing her to the best match of her career. Meiko is the driving force in every match that she has taken part in. You can tell that she's the general in the ring. You can see that the other competitors have a great love and respect for Meiko, and I know that Lacey Lane is in for one hell of a challenge tonight. This could be a sleeper match. It could be a 1-2-3 situation, considering the experience factor and how different each of these girls are that way. Meiko could wrap up Lacey Lane in less than 2 minutes for all we know right now. But we are about to get the introductions to this match started. Kayla Braxton and all her hips, which don't lie. Right in the middle of the ring. 1 fall. 25. That's the new thing. I like that. The WWE took that pause away so we can't do the 1 fall. But the crowd at Full Sail is smarter than that. We're going to wait for the next pause. We're going to tell you how many minutes we're going to have as the time limit of this match. Winter Park's own Lacey Lane making her way to the ring, looking like the Predator. Like another version of Ember Moon or any other one of the contestants in the Mae Young Classic or on the main roster that have this very similar look that seems to be very popular right now. The hood with the mask and the dreads. She's a beautiful, beautiful woman, and I enjoy what she's bringing as far as aesthetically. She's got a great outfit. She's very athletic. She's very agile. She's got beautiful eyes, and she's got some talent in the ring. I just want to see what she's going to do against a next-level athlete the caliber of Meiko Satomura. Referee checking out. Lacey in the ring now, as if somebody's going to bring some illegal stuff to the Mae Young Classic, like that's ever happened before. But I guess you got to do what you got to do. That's your job as the ref, right? You got to pat people down. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get free feels. Lots of feels on the Mae Young Classic. Had some boob action last week. Remember that? If you missed it, go watch last week's review because I pointed it out to you. A little bit of extra going on. But hey, we'll leave that for last week, and we'll get ready right now for the final boss. Meiko Satomura coming out here in all her glory. The traditional Japanese garb. She just looks great, man. For her age, she does not look her age. Right? She's been wrestling for over 20 years. She looks like she might only be 20-something years old. One of the most respected woman. Oh, I said it right the first time. I'm sorry, you guys. It's late. I'm a little bit tired. We're a little bit exhausted from what NXT just put us through, so please forgive me for any flubs. You know this is still the absolute best channel to get your Mae Young Classic coverage, no matter what. Lacey Lane now looking across the ring at what lies before her, the tremendous challenge that is Meiko. Very hard to come up with shit to say until the matchup begins. You know, I don't have a script written here that I can just read bullshit off of like Cole and the girls. I have to come up with stuff, so hopefully I'm keeping you guys entertained as the bell sounds and we are now underway. Both of these ladies now just circling each other, and the action is about to begin. Collar and elbow tie-up to start things off, as most traditional wrestling matches do. Let's pull this in here, and let's get set. Thor, you can have a seat right over here. Satomura has Lane up into the ropes now. A stiff kick. Lane catches it, tries to deliver a right hand, misses. Satomura misses a right hand of her own. Trying to figure each other out in the early going here. Neither one of these ladies are familiar with one another at all. Meiko now with a nice headlock. Sent into the ropes. Shoulder block takedown to Lacey Lane. Cartwheel over the body. Meiko's now down to the floor. Cartwheel from Lacey Lane. Some stiff kicks. Nice dodges. These girls barely making contacts. Meiko has her set up now, but lets Lacey Lane go. She had Lane by the leg. Let her go, offering her hand in respect now. Lacey Lane slapping it away, not expecting that, and eats a stiff kick to the midsection. Misses with a roundhouse, but follows up with a spinning roundhouse counter from Meiko Satomura, keeping Lacey Lane down on the mat. Maybe not the smartest move, not showing some respect to the legend. Meiko now Lane up on her shoulders, but Lane powers out of it. Nice sweep, followed by a stiff kick to the face, delivered by Lacey Lane. Almost gets a 3 count on Meiko Satomura in the early goings of this matchup. Lacey Lane trying to be in control, has her from behind in a reverse bear hug. Meiko now reverses it. Lifts her up, going for a takedown. Squiggles out of it, does Lane, does a cartwheel over the back of Meiko, goes to deliver a kick, misses, and follows up with a back kick to the chin of Meiko. 1, 2. Ooh, my goodness. What a kick delivered by Satomura right to the temple of Lacey Lane, sending those dreads flying through the air. Oh, Meiko now might have this match wrapped up. She's going for an armbar, trying to get Lacey Lane to submit, but Lane fighting. Lacey Lane has her hands locked, trying to stop Meiko from locking in this armbar. Very smart by Lacey Lane now, rolling out of it, reversing the pressure, getting Meiko's shoulders to the mat, forcing the referee to make a 1 count. As I just said, Lacey Lane gets her foot on the ropes, forcing Meiko to let go. What a kick to the chest of Lacey Lane. That had to hurt. Meiko setting up now. Nice suplex.
Lacey Lane doesn't want any more.
Meiko now solidly in control. She has Lacey Lane by the hair. Goes to deliver a couple of strikes. Nice ducking and dodging by Lane. Following it up with a knee to the face. And a big forearm smash. Follows up by another and another. Lacey Lane is on fire right now. A fury of forearm smashes to the face, backs it up into the corner, delivers another knee right dead square in the temple of Meiko. She's onto something. Climbs to the top, springboard body splash. 1, 2, very close. 3 count, very close. Very close. Lacey Lane impressive here in this moment versus the legendary final boss of Japan. Goes for a kick. Meiko, hits a kick. Lane is out on her feet. Hang on a minute, Satomura with her on the shoulders. Death Valley Driver. 1, 2, 3. Thanks for coming, Lacey Lane. That was a very difficult match to call. It was moving at a very fast pace. Very, very impressed in this instance with Lacey Lane. The first match I've seen her really pull out some stuff that I haven't seen her do before. A very impressive running up the turnbuckles, turning around into a springboard body splash. Almost shocked Meiko Satomura into the loss here. Lots of hard-fought strikes. Here we go with some replays here. A very nice sweep and kick combination by Lacey Lane. Got an early 2 count at the start of this matchup. A very vicious kick. That's all I could keep telling you, because that's all they kept hitting. This was a kick fest, to say the least. But this was the telltale sign. Lacey Lane out on her feet. Gets delivered into the arms of Meiko, who dropped her in that Death Valley Driver for the 3 count. Meiko Satomura moves on to the semifinals. What an intense and impressive performance once again by Meiko Satomura. Game over for Lacey Lane. Looking forward to seeing more from this girl as she develops. If she's part of the Performance Center, as I believe she is going to be a name to keep your eye on. Lacey Lane has some tremendous talent. She needs a little bit more seasoning. She needs to go in there against more veterans like a Meiko Satomura, and you are going to get some quality matchups, and you are going to get a next superstar for the women's division in NXT or anywhere. Lacey Lane, very, very impressive on this night. But Meiko Satomura headed, in my opinion, to the finals, because who is going to take her down? the force of her strikes and all of the way she delivers her moves with such tremendous strength. That Death Valley driver was absolutely brutal. The kicks to the head were absolutely brutal. Definitely looked like Lacey Lane was completely knocked the fuck out right before the end of that matchup. Tremendous match by both ladies. Once again impressed by Meiko. We're now getting to look at Io Shirai. I loved that match that she had with Zia Brookside. That was a great match. That was in the first round. The virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo, another one who has a tough hill to climb in the form of an import from Japan by the name of Io Shirai. That Fujiwara armbar is one of the most devastating finishers I have seen a woman do ever. The way she delivers it. Last week we seen her wrap up 2 arms on poor Xia Li. It was something to behold, forcing the girl to tap out almost immediately. Io Shirai was very impressive in both her outings against Zeuxis last week, or last round, and in the previous round, as we were just talking about against Zia Brookside. This is being said to be a classic in the making by Michael Cole, and it's being amped up to probably be one of the highlights of this tournament, and I fully agree with those sentiments. Deonna Purrazzo is no nonsense. She is tough as nails. Io Shirai has been very impressive, as we've talked about week in and week out. Whenever she is on this show, we are always left with a sense of wow. So I'm looking forward to this. 2 very respected women in the independent scene. Deonna Purrazzo, nobody to be taken lightly, even if you are Io Shirai. And here she comes to the ring in her 5 Nights at Freddy's inspired, bedazzled, panda bear, whatever, lucha mask. It is the most insane mask I think I have seen in all of wrestling. I love it. It's got a tail. It's got a fuzzy tail, which I never realized before. Fantastic. So I don't know if it's a cat. Maybe it's a homage to Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty? I don't know. All I know is it's fucking weird and it's wild and I absolutely love it. Io, who's probably headed right for Meiko Satomura at this point. Just something special. Fantastic. Michael Cole says this is the matchup he's looking forward to the most. He just jinxed this whole entire match. Michael Cole loves everybody. Lacey Lane was his dark horse. This one was his pick. Rhea Ripley was his pick. That one was his pick, right? You can't lose if you're picking everybody for some specific reason. This is a legitimate tough match to pick a winner for. Purrazzo has been one of the top names in all of the indies. She has been super impressive in this tournament. Her skill on the mat is very, very respected by me and very welcomed by me. I love mat-based wrestling. I love ground and pound style. I love submissions. And she has all of those things in spades. Deonna Purrazzo has entered the ring. She's taken off her jacket. The virtuosa getting ready to write a symphony of pain and send it to Japan. Care of Io Shirai. Both of the ladies in the center of the ring now, shaking hands. Nice little show of respect. One of the things we love about the Mae Young Classic. And here's the bell. Let's go. One of the most anticipated matchups of the tournament. Purrazzo versus Shirai. Beth Phoenix says it's going to be a clinic. We'll find out. Looks like they're setting up for a test of strength here. Not something you see very often in the Mae Young Classic. Deonna gets out of it. Shirai now with a nice headlock. Deonna quickly powers out of it into an armbar, standing armbar. Transformed into a headlock of her own as Purrazzo now in control. Has Shirai by the head. Io sends Purrazzo into the rope. Shoulder tackle by the Virtuosa. Another cartwheel. Lots of cartwheels being thrown around tonight. Purrazzo sends Shirai into the ring. Follows her behind. Nice hurricanrana, but Shirai flips out of it. Lands clean on her feet. Handspring flip into a drop kick. Beautiful move by Io Shirai. Deonna Purrazzo rolling to the outside, trying to get a breather. Shirai firing up. I think I know what's coming next. She hits the ropes, going for that suicide dive, where she almost takes her own face and grates it across that steel ramp. I think she really needs to adjust her depth perception. My God, this was brutal. Ugh. Looked like she was inches away from needing reconstructive surgery as her face almost clambered into that steel rampway, possibly doing more damage to Shirai than she did to Purrazzo. The action back in the ring now. Close cover, 2 count. Shirai now scoop slam to Purrazzo. Nicely executed. Follows it up with a handstand double knee strike to the abdomen. 1, 2. Io Shirai staying in control right now. Delivers a stiff kick to the back of the neck of Purrazzo. Purrazzo looks to be in a tremendous amount of pain right now, falling into the corner. Shirai with her foot on the throat. Launches herself up, goes for that handstand strike, but misses, ends up in a roll-up. 1, 2. Purrazzo almost steals this one. Small package by Shirai. 1, 2. Kick out. Double leg takedown with a jackknife cover. Purrazzo again with another 2 count. Goes for some sort of a takedown. That was a tremendous somersault counter by Shirai, ending with a double foot stomp to the chest. Purrazzo sucking wind, trying to regain her composure as Shirai stays on the attack. I'll give him that. This has been one of the most physical matches I've seen her be in thus far, delivering a stiff forearm right to Deonna. Purrazzo needs to do something to get back into fighting shape as Shirai's just picking her apart with forearm after forearm. Sending her into the corner now. Again, forearm strikes, and again, and again. Very stiff. Looks like there's a little bit of a slowdown in this match. Nice knife edge chop to the chest. Deonna Purrazzo starting to come back now, but Shirai with another reversal and stiff shot of her own. Shirai into the ropes. Nice hip toss by Purrazzo with a hand flip. Hand spring. Flipping drop kick. Impressive. This match has a very awkward pace. It's a little slow. I don't know if that's intentionally being done or if they're having a little bit of a chemistry issue, but there's something slightly off about this match. You know, that's why we're here. We bring the hammer. You know, we got to be honest. I am enjoying the match. It just seems to have a very strange flow. Purrazzo now on the attack, finally delivers a high knee strike and a high Russian leg sweep into the Fujiwara armbar. Very, very early for her to be going for this, but trying to get Shirai to tap out. If anybody can do it, it would be Purrazzo. She really has that locked in. Shirai reverses it into a cover, forcing her to let it go. Oh, into a crossface. Shirai on the attack now. Gripping back into a crossface on Purrazzo, finding herself in the submission predicament now. Rolls out of it as well. 1, 2, almost a 3 count. Very near fall for Purrazzo there. What a stiff uppercut by Shirai to Purrazzo, putting her down on the mat once again. Purrazzo now trying to will her way up to the second rope, but gets a 619 for her troubles. Shirai setting up now. Springboard drop kick. Back to the inside of the ring. Goes for the cover. 1, 2. Almost gets put into the semifinals. Does Shirai, as Purrazzo will not stay down.
These women giving it all they've got. Io Shirai, Deonna Purrazzo.
Single leg takedown. Steps on the stomach of Purrazzo. Looks like she's going for that moonsault, but Deonna knew what was coming. Had her well scouted. Looks like she's setting her up for a German suplex now. And whoa, vicious German suplex. Doesn't let go. Delivers a second. Still hanging on for a third, but launches her this time. Nice trifecta of German suplexes. 1, 2. Deonna Purrazzo with her own little town in Suplex City. How about that? Back into the Fujiwara armbar as it's Shirai now once again in deep, deep trouble here. Look at this now as Purrazzo has her other arm placed firmly underneath the chin, creating more pressure and more torque and more tension, trying to get Shirai to tap out at all costs. Io looking like she just might tap. She's almost ready to give in. Purrazzo really wrenching back. But Shirai now finding a way to roll out of it. Into a cover. Back into a crossface now for Shirai. Once again on the attack. Her eyes bulging in. I don't know what emotion you would call that. It's absolutely crazy. She is really wrenching back as well on the neck and lower back of Purrazzo as she has this crossface deeply cinched in. Trying to fight her way out of it, and she does, rolls out of it, but gets a knee to the face. I would have rather stayed in the submission than had to have eaten that knee to the face. Purrazzo now, barely alive in the corner, draped across the bottom turnbuckle. Io now with a meteor double knee strike, pulling Deonna out of the corner, steps over her. She's going for it now. This is it. The moonsault. 1, 2, 3. That's the end. Michael Cole said she didn't get all of it. And you know we've been telling you guys that. And unless you're a blind monkey, you've seen yourself when you watch this thing. She didn't get all of that. Io Shirai, for everything she has done and for all of the impressiveness that I have seen from her, is 0 for 3 on her finishing maneuver. The genius of the sky can't figure out the velocity point from A to B. She keeps setting these girls up way too close to the turnbuckle, and then she launches herself like a rocket. She misses every time. Every time. It looked like a moonsault face slap. She completely missed so much. I think only her hands touched the face of Deonna Purrazzo. And then she had to stay with her shoulders pinned to the mat for the finish for that. But we're not going to nitpick. That was an awkward match. Something seemed a bit off, not just in the finish, but throughout. It was a good match. It was entertaining. It was tough. They were definitely trying. They are still two of the best talents you're going to see in this tournament. There was just something slightly off about that match. I don't know what it was. Maybe first match of the day jitters since this was the start of day 2. I don't know. But nice matchup nonetheless. Way better than most of the other stuff we've seen, especially if you want to include the preliminary rounds. We're getting a look now at Tegan Knox. I don't know what to call her. I've been trying to come up with a nickname for her without being disrespectful. Just be Little Miss Paper Doll, Little Miss Prototype, Little Miss Creator Wrestler. Rhea Ripley. Now there is a personality. There is somebody that stands out. Once again, we are taking a look back at Tegan Knox and her torn ACL from last year that kept her out of the Mae Young Classic. She took on Nicole Matthews in the last round in a rather unimpressive match. And in the first round, she didn't impress me that much either. They call her the girl with the shiniest wizard, but I haven't really seen her connect one of these shiny wizards. It's been more like the invisible wizard because she misses it every time. Rhea Ripley, the female Pete Dunne. I'm convinced she's been sitting back watching Pete Dunne going, nobody in the ladies division is doing anything like this. Nobody's got a character like his. I'm going to do it. But instead of wearing fur, I'm going to wear spikes. But I'm going to do my hair the same way. I'm going to talk the same way. I'm going to snarl my lips the same way. I'm going to make my nose do the same little I smell shit in the air thing the same way. And I'm going to kick ass in the women's division. And I love every minute of Rhea Ripley right now. I'm in love with her. And not in a physical, sexual way. Pigs. Get your minds out of the gutter. Talking about when it comes to wrestling, I would say Rhea Ripley is everything you would want. You could make her the cornerstone of your division. Just based off of the tremendous turnaround in 1 year. She says here she's done making friends. She's here to win the gold. And that's the only thing that matters. Which is the only thing that should matter when you're a pro wrestler. Miss Congeniality, Miss Rainbow Tights, Miss I look 12 with makeup on. Hey, listen. I call it like I see it, right, you guys? Miss I wear an AJ Styles coat. I don't see it. I don't see the appeal and what's so special about this shiny wizard girl. I wish she at least came out with a shiny wizard accompanying her to the ring. Maybe I would say, oh, okay, well, there's something. She's out here in some 1980s Aztec print, neon colors. I don't know. I don't get it. Rhea Ripley's on her way to the ring. This I get. This is rock and roll. This is heavy metal. This girl's dressed in leather and studs and spikes. She's pissed off at something. Or maybe she just smells something really bad and it's put her in a foul mood. But Rhea Ripley, I get. She's fantastic. I'm a little mad at her for taking out Casey Catanzaro. Casey Catanzaro is my new wrestling woman's crush because she was absolutely awesome. She totally floored me. 9 months as a wrestler, and she was one of the highlights of this whole tournament. And we have Rhea Ripley to thank for her early exit. But if I have to weigh my options, I'm going to pick Rhea Ripley right now. Any day of the week. This girl is money. You want to say Mela is money? What's money in the UK? Pounds? Rhea is pounds. She's not even from the UK. What do you call money in Australia? Somebody tell me. Whatever that is, that's Rhea Ripley. Australian money. Awesome. Absolutely incredible. All right, we're about to get this matchup started. Hopefully Tegan Knox shuts me up and makes me understand why everybody loves her so much. This match gets started off really quickly. Ripley already outside, going for a dive, and Tegan Knox with a nice tackle on the outside. Wait a minute. Tegan Knox is gingerly moving on that knee. Tegan Knox beating up the steel steps now. Looks like she might legit be injured here. This is what I get for talking shit about people. Now I'm going to sit here and feel bad because I've been running this girl down. This looks legit, you guys. having a hard time getting into the ring, but she's going on. She's going on in this matchup. She's going, and she's now being launched into the air by Rhea Ripley, landing down right on her body. There is something wrong with the left knee of Tegan Knox. But she is continuing on. It looks like she just said to the referee, "I'm hurt." No, "I'm hurt." If I'm reading her lips correctly, there is something wrong. The X sign just went up. Rhea Ripley is still on the attack, and the trainers now are on the outside of the ring. Something is really wrong. This is a real world situation, people. The officials trying to check in on her. She's telling the doctors that she's good. They're showing the replay now. It was a suicide dive in which she landed very awkwardly on that knee. Looked like she might have landed on it, or maybe, I can't tell really from the angle we just see, but Tegan Knox is being allowed to continue here. And we are going to go on with this match. Looks like she might be getting some feeling back into that leg, or maybe it's numbing over. She goes on the attack, and a kick to the midsection sends Tegan Knox back to the floor. Rhea Ripley still being aggressive, clubbing blows to the back. Tegan Knox now being draped over the second rope by the gigantic tree-like leg of Rhea Ripley. Tegan Knox has not been back to her feet just yet. Ripley picks her up now, sends her into the corner. Tegan Knox trying to stay in this thing. Oh, what a knife edge chop to the chest of Tegan Knox. Knocking the breath right out of her. Probably forgetting about that pain in the knee from those stiff shots. This knee that is hurt tonight is not the knee that they've been telling the story about from last year. This is actually the good knee. Tegan Knox firing up, hits the ropes, but eats a drop kick to the face. And wait a minute now. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Tegan looked like she was going to be on the attack. She hit the ring ropes and started to go towards Rhea Ripley, ate the drop kick to the face, and then put up the X herself, and is now telling that that's it. The trainer just called it. She's done.
Due to the referee's stoppage, the winner, Rhea Ripley.
Wow. This girl is really in pain. This is tough to watch. Rhea Ripley is leaving the ring. No further incidents. She's just leaving. The trainers are trying to get Tegan out of the ring here. This is real world stuff here. This is tough to watch. I don't like seeing people get hurt, no matter how I feel about them. You know, we play around, we call people names. That's what we do here. We're trying to be fun and entertaining for you guys, but this is not a joke, and this is very unfortunate. This is very unfortunate. A lot of people in the crowd echoing my sentiments.
Injuries are part of this game.
Yeah, well, this is probably the most valid thing he's ever said. Injuries are part of the game. It's something that you have to be ready for at all times, especially in this business.
Really wanted to win this tournament, and to have something like this happen on this stage is just devastating. And Beth, I know that you suffered a serious.
Absolutely is devastating.
Yeah, coming back.
Definitely sucked the wind kind of right out of this episode, huh?
Physically difficult. I just feel for Tegan because, you know, it's hard to work with a knee brace. It's hard to get your balance back.
Wow.
Get back to where you were before you had that injury.
That was kind of intense to watch.
So much heart
That wasn't fun for me.
from Tegan Knox.
I hate that.
Now finds herself in the semifinals.
And that does, however, like they just said, set up the semifinals matchup of Rhea Ripley versus Io Shirai. And my God, man, that is going to be a barn burner. We are getting set for the final matchup of this episode.
You can look in my eyes and see the determination, the motivation.
Mia Yim, Mia Mania, is going to be going up against the one-woman hurricane herself, Toni Storm. Very impressive win against Caitlyn in the last round, in the last episode, actually. She was the main event of that episode, and she will be the main event of this episode as well, and rightfully so, as standing across the ring from Mia Yim is the Australian sensation, Toni Storm. And the storm is the perfect word for her. She's as wild as a windstorm, she's as devastating as a hurricane, and it is absolutely just a pleasure to watch Toni Storm do her thing in the wrestling ring. She freed me from the Hiroyo Matsumoto and having to see her. I'm sorry, you guys. You already know if you've been watching the show, I was not impressed with Matsumoto in what I've seen of her here. I hope to see more of her somewhere else. Maybe she could change my tune. But as of right now, thanks to Toni Storm, she's sitting at home watching along with us. And she's going to face my sentimental favorite. I met Mia Yim at a House of Glory show about a year back, and she's just one of the nicest, most genuine people you could ever meet. A true force. If you want to highlight a woman who is strong and is a good role model for other women, this is the one you should be focusing on, because her story is well known. We ain't going to go over it over and over again, but if you know anything about Mia Yim, you know she don't take no shit from nobody, and she's finally making her way to the WWE in her second installment in the Mae Young Classic here. Hopefully this leads to her being a part of the company, because it's long overdue. She should already be on the main roster. She shouldn't be in this year's Mae Young Classic just based off of last year. She should already be on NXT. Maybe in a feud with Nikki Cross or something. Would be great. But instead, the WWE passed on her last year, and here we are again this year, and hopefully they don't make the same mistake. There's a storm coming. You can't even deliver anything with any excitement, Michael Cole, you perennial tool bucket. You're not just a tool, you're a bucket of tools. Bucket, I say. The winner of this match goes on to face Meiko Satomura in the semifinals. So no matter who wins, they're in for a bumpy ride on their road to the finals. We're seeing a little bit of a highlight here. Toni Storm taking out Hiroyo Matsumoto in round 2, like I was just telling you guys about. Mia Yim took out Caitlyn as well in round number 2. This is a very big match for both of these women. This is as far as Toni Storm got last year.
I think we're going to see them struggling to come back from some of the damage done.
Or did she get to the semis? I forget now. Scratch that. Here's the bell. Let's get this match started. The Blue Blasian Baddie, Mia Yim versus the Red Storm of Toni. And Mia Yim automatically on the attack, taking the advantage right away with some stiff strikes, putting Toni Storm down on the mat, giving her a kick to the midsection, and now taking control by the hair. Nice kick to the chest of Toni Storm, who finds herself down in the corner. Mia Yim showing a little bit of a viciousness now, putting her foot to the throat of Toni Storm. Knife edge chop that you could hear all the way back home in Toni's hometown. Toni Storm ducks a clothesline. connects with a boot to Mia Yim's chin.
Is what Toni Storm refers to herself as. And
Storm now with a double knees.
Storm is so athletic.
Mia Yim now.
cover.
One.
Match up and a kick out by Yim.
Just a quick 1 count for Toni Storm as she went to cover up Mia Yim,
Another one by Toni
tormenting her with some fast feet to the face. A flurry of strikes.
Next round.
Toni Storm.
Toni Storm sets up, nice suplex. Float over cover, 1, 2. Kick out by Yim.
Her strategy in the ring, she goes.
Toni Storm has been one of the most impressive things ever to come out of Australia, probably ever. She is now going to work on that previously injured hand of Mia Yim, stomping on those damaged digits.
And Storm.
The crowd seems to be fully split, equally behind both ladies here. Vicious European uppercuts to the jaw of Mia Yim. Toni Storm firmly in control,
See if Toni goes
trying to lock in that double underhook finishing maneuver.
The elbow.
We're here in the quarterfinals.
But Yim now
Already been through-
turns the tide with a nice kick to the chest.
Bodies have already
Toni Storm back down into the corner, eating the boots of Mia Yim as she repeatedly drives them into the chest.
This is all she has. She has no backup plan. She has
Pulls her out of the corner, tries to stack her up for a close 2 count.
Put a little pep in your step, I gotta say.
Now Yim
Finds
still
herself
wears
with a
Storm
nice sleeper hold, putting all her weight on the back of the much smaller Toni Storm. Mia Yim, the aggressor here, with a very nice sleeper. Toni fighting her way out of it, delivering some elbows, creating some separation between the two, but a hair pull down to the mat. Ref's got to watch for that.
When you lock in submission holds.
He is admonishing Mia Yim for those actions as she continues with her deadly strikes. Goes for the cover, another close count for Mia Yim. Toni Storm probably not expecting to find herself in this much of a defensive position so early on in the match. Mia Yim goes to deliver this Mexican surfboard stretch.
Will Toni tap out to Mia Yim?
Toni Storm in some danger here as Yim has her spine bent across her knees like an elbow pasta. Toni flips out into a corner, almost ends this matchup. But a drop kick from Yim keeps her in control. 1, 2. Another near fall for Mia Yim. Lots of near falls
Damage was done to Toni Storm.
for Mia Yim tonight.
To neutralize Toni Storm. You guys talked about the hand injury earlier. Has not been a factor.
Trying to slow things down now with a beautiful front face lock being applied by Mia Yim. Oh, gets the guillotine choke now locked in. Once again, cinching all her weight down into these submissions, trying to wear down Toni Storm
Gasp for breath.
and turn that storm into a mild wind.
This is a dangerous
One that you could
position.
just brush
Her
off.
shoulders are dangerously close to the ground.
But the strength of Toni Storm as she deadlifts Mia Yim from that seated position, spine buster. Definitely will release any hold that you find yourself wrapped in if you could execute a spine buster like that, just as Toni Storm did. Drop toe hold by Mia Yim, floats over again into another sleeper hold. Looks like she might have that lower arm really in a choking position. The ref not really checking.
Mia doing a great job.
A second stiff kick to the throat of Storm.
Toni yet to go down.
Axe kick to the back of Toni Storm. Mia Yim 1, 2 stays in control of this matchup.
Doing an excellent job of keeping Toni on the mat.
Probably the most aggressive I have ever seen Mia Yim as she is hungry for that seat
Factor.
in the semis. Nice palm strikes followed up by some good knees. Pele kick. Another close 3.
Toni may be just kicking out at
Almost 3. I'm getting into this match here now. It's getting very intense. Toni Storm looks to be exhausted and just beaten up already as Yim continues to chop away at her limbs. Oh, what a headbutt! Oh, what a headbutt from Toni Storm. Laid both of these girls out in the center of the ring. What a tremendous headbutt after creating the opening by kicking the damaged hand of Mia Yim once again. Wow, that was bad. Both ladies struggling now to get on their feet. Absolutely brutal striking going on. Both of these girls on their knees, continuing to bring the fight, slapping and chopping away at each other in the middle of the ring. Neither one giving quarter as the strikes seem to be revving each other up as they are now back to their vertical bases and continue this striking flurry against one another. Knees now by Mia Yim. Finds herself wrapped up. Snap German. That looked brutal. That definitely dazed Mia Yim. She's having a hard time getting up. She seats herself into the corner, finds herself on the receiving end of that hip attack by Storm. Storm pulls her into the middle of the ring. Storm now almost loses this match after being wrapped up in a nice bridging suplex by Mia Yim. It's now or never for Mia Yim. She can still take this match. She has Storm in her sights. She goes in, but Storm ducks out of it, rolls away. Mia Yim still on the attack, has her. Oh, what a vicious power bomb! My God! My God, you guys! Mia Yim has never looked better. This is awesome. Shut up, Michael Cole. Don't say what I say, Michael Cole. Toni Storm now. Let's get back to the action as she uses that wrist to her advantage again for another snap German. Now firmly in control, looking for that Storm Zero. 1, 2, and that, my friends, is that, as they say. Toni Storm, the Shawn Michaels of the women's division. So far, every match we've seen Toni Storm in during this year's tournament, I'm going to have to go back and watch if it extends into last year's. But Toni Storm was on the defense for the majority of this match, only to turn around and win in the fleeting moments of the match with one or two burst moves, typical to that babyface style win. I wish we would see her in much more evenly matched contests, a lot more equal offense instead of just having her get her ass beat for a good 10 minutes and then impressing everybody with the way she still is able to come away with the win. Which is great, but I don't want to say I expected more because this was a great match, but I guess I expected more. I thought we were going to see some kind of an epic comeback, maybe these two really going at it one last time, toe-to-toe. But this was a very good match. This was a good match. Toni Storm now has a one-way ticket to the final level as she faces the boss, Meiko Satomura. Toni Storm getting all emotional now, as we're now going to go through the review of everything. The quarterfinals are all done. This is going to be something special. Meiko Satomura versus Toni Storm. Io Shirai versus Rhea Ripley. Wow. Let's turn this thing off as we get ready to wrap up this live reaction special. That was pretty good, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the commentary. It's something that we did twice today. My throat fucking hurts. My throat hurts. This has been some intense action we've been calling. We had a lot of fun on this one. But if you missed the NXT UK, you got to go back and watch it. And I recommend you guys, even if you only go back to watch for one thing, go towards the end and watch my call of the championship match. I think I might have lost my mind. It's just absolutely a whole lot of fun that we're having today on this wild, wild Wednesday. I don't know if this is going to be a weekly thing, so don't get used to it. We only have a couple more weeks in the Mae Young Classic. Thank God. Not that I'm not enjoying the action, but my throat and my voice could definitely not handle a 1-2 punch, double-fisted Wednesday. Or we could even triple it if we want. We could do NXT UK, then we could start doing NXT and the Mae Young Classic, but I think I might be dead. Plus, I work a long day on Wednesday, so my hours do not accommodate for a heavy Wednesday schedule. That all being said, this was your live reaction and review for the Mae Young Classic, episode number 7. I enjoyed the show. There wasn't really a bad match. I am very, very upset about Tegan Knox. I've been waiting for her to shut me up, and now I have no choice but to shut up because, unfortunately, she went down with an injury. Now, I want you guys to understand that I purposely, and most of you guys know, I purposely stayed away from any of the spoilers or the rumors or anything that's going on. So all of my reaction is 100% genuine, and I had no idea. I had no idea that anything like this went down in the Mae Young Classic. You could probably tell just by my reaction. My acting is not that good, but I'm very disappointed in that happening. You know, like we said, injuries are part of the business. It's something that happens sometimes. Unfortunately, it happened to Tegan on this night. Another unfortunate circumstance is having to say goodbye to the beautiful and talented Mia Yim, a very good friend of this show, even if she don't know it as much as she probably should. We have been a firm supporter of her all from last year through this year. If the WWE does not sign this lady, then they are completely out of their mind. It's bad enough that they let Tessa Blanchard go, and now she's burning up the whole wrestling world in Impact Wrestling. One of the best women champions in the world today. And she's not in the WWE. And they had her. Just like they have a lot of these girls right now. And I hope to see a Caitlyn come back. And I hope to see Mia Yim signed immediately. Casey Catanzaro. Fast track these girls. Because they're special. Tegan Knox didn't come off as special to me, but like I said, I feel bad for her, and I hope to see her return sooner rather than later so that she could show me just how shiny that wizard actually is, because it didn't have too much shine on it during this year's Mae Young Classic. I don't even know if that was the way this match was supposed to end. It is quite possible that the next round matchup was supposed to be Io Shirai versus Tegan Knox, and they had to go with Ripley by default, but I'm very much anticipating that one. Next week is going to be a big week for the Mae Young Classic, so make sure you guys are here as we get set to whittle this thing down to the final 2 girls who will be forced to perform at the Useless Evolution pay-per-view and have the one and only match that might be worth watching aside from Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane. Very, very impressed with this episode as well. Nothing really still outshines that Satomura Martinez match. Remains to be probably the best match I have seen in this tournament, with Io coming in at a close second in a couple of them. Io versus Deonna Purrazzo. I feel like I was a little bit disappointed. Maybe I amped it up too much in my head, so I expected something that it could never actually deliver on, and that's on me, not on the girls. But I still did enjoy this episode in its entirety. Thank you all so much for being a part of Wild Wednesday here today. If you missed anything on the channel, go back and watch it all right now. And no matter what you're watching, whether it's this video, that video, or the other video, make sure that you are a member of the Sledgehammer Club by hitting that subscribe button right now. Help us get over that 1K hump so that we can start climbing that mountain and taking down some of the biggest names in podcasting, because we are better, we are brighter, and we have you. And you are my secret weapon. All I need is to continue to amass the greatest following of professional wrestling fans the world has ever seen. Most of you are already down there in the comment section, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you down there in this one as well, especially you, Kyle. So let me see what you guys had to say about episode number 7. What are you looking forward to seeing the most in episode number 8? And most importantly, thank you guys so much for being here. Smash that like button if you enjoyed today's show. If you enjoyed the live commentary and it's something you want to see me keep doing, let me know so that I keep doing it for you guys, so that you keep coming back for more and I keep giving you guys what you want. Because I don't want to be like the WWE. I don't want to give you what I want. I want to give you guys what you want. We're all fans, and we're a family here in the Sledgehammer Club. So all my brothers and sisters, it's time to bid you all a good night. This is my team, Thor the Sledgehammer, the wrestling god of Thunder, and the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. And his tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Blue the Snowball Microphone. Thank you all for being here with me. My name is Nick Nightmare, and this was the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's Mae Young Classic Episode 7 review. That is going to do it, my friends. We are out of here, and we will see you next time right here on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Beep boop, bop boop, beep boop. I don't know what that was about. I'm going delirious. Don't forget to check out Audible.